This is stuff you like, and Stan Lee died, which, while it was inevitable, doesn't mean I have to like it. But in memory of Stan Lee and his many, many Marvel movie cameos, I think it's a good time to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. Because when I think Stan Lee, I can't help but think of Spider-Man. Funny that. There's another Spider-Man movie coming out which is called, tantalizingly, Far From Home. But I don't think it's a prequel, which means that they really have just decided to skip the entire Uncle Ben and with great power comes great responsibility and getting bitten by a radioactive spider origin story, and can I just say, thank goodness for that. I mean, Tom Holland is a very good actor and the scripts seem to be, reasonably good, but my gosh, I don't think I'd want to sit through that again, no matter how good he was at it. Better to stick with bitten by a radioactive spider who's dead now, Aunt May is sad for reasons unspecified, and go with that. The people who don't know don't really need to know right now, and the people who do know, well, they already know, so you don't need to tell them. So we can just get going with the action and the character development and doing something new. So the plot of Spider-Man Homecoming goeth thusly. Peter Parker wants to be useful. He fought with the Avengers and it was amazing, and now everyone is giving him the runaround. This dude has been selling Chitauri weaponry, and also he's the dad of this young lady Liz who's in the academic decathlon, and Peter wants to get the baddie without necessarily knowing any of this, so he spends most of the movie trying to do crime fighting, with best friend Ned aiming to be the guy in his ear, being dismissed by Happy, saving his friends from certain death at the Washington Monument, being snarked at by Zendaya, getting in way over his head and almost sinking the Staten Island ferry, and taking the daughter of his nemesis to Homecoming. Well, I mean, he takes her to Homecoming for about 10 seconds and then he runs off to be a hero. Tony Stark then offers him a place in the Avengers, which he turns down, and hey, turns out snarky girl is MJ. Who'd have guessed? Well, I kinda guessed, but I was also quite happy about it, so I didn't mind. Gosh, I remember Zendaya from when I was a nanny and she was on the Disney Channel on Shake It Up? Shake It Off? No, that's the Taylor Swift song. Shake It Up. Maybe. Anyway, I'm glad she's doing more interesting things nowadays. The thing about Marvel movies, she said, trying in vain to come up with something original to say about Marvel movies and probably failing, is that, like NCIS, they're solid. You know what you're going to get with a Marvel movie. They know what you want, and they're going to give it to you. And that's not to say that they don't take risks, but they only take risks within the format that is well established. And generally speaking, they only try and sell you on one change at a time. So one of the people I work with didn't really like Iron Man 3 very much, which I believe is a reasonably common opinion. I quite liked it, but I agree that the Heat villain guy was a bit meh. And I didn't really like Thor: The Dark World very much. I thought it was also But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't watch it again and probably enjoy it when I did. It's just there are other Marvel movies I like better. I mean, I still have Thor: The Dark World on DVD, let's put it like that. And I'm probably gonna get Black Panther for Christmas, which I haven't seen yet, and guess what? I'm probably gonna really like that too. But quite a lot of Marvel movies also target a specific demographic. Like, they hit their core audience for all of the films, they have explosions and superheroes and Stan Lee cameos. Yeah, and all of that jazz. But, Spider-Man, for example, is clearly targeted at the young'uns. I've been reading a few novels recently, and one of them is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which I'm enjoying very much so far. The thing about it is, it's clearly aimed at people significantly younger than me, but not in a kind of excluding kind of way. It signals to its audience that yes, this is for your kind of people, but it doesn't, shove me out as a person who isn't in that demographic. And so it is with Spider-Man. This is not true of all of the novels that I've been reading, which is why I gave some of them up after about 60 pages, because life, frankly, is too short. But Spider-Man Homecoming manages to be a story primarily about teenagers which doesn't shut an adult audience out. It has as its villain a working class, I guess blue collar would be the term since he's American, guy trying to give his family a decent life. He's really not a great human being, but he's sympathetic. They have made him, very sensibly, a very naturalistic villain in a movie universe which does contain many more bombastic characters. Aunt May being an appropriate age for a teenage boy's aunt is also nice. I mean, my kid will be a teenager when I'm in my 40s. There's a scary thought. So Aunt May looking 60-ish always seemed kind of odd to me. I used to wonder if she was actually his great aunt. And Jennifer Connelly as Karen the voice in the suit. I love Karen the voice in the suit, so That was good too. Karen is great. Karen should appear more often. So basically, I'm just really glad that Marvel have Spider-Man back. I'm glad that they decided to skip the origin story and get to the meat. I'm glad that MJ exists in her current incarnation because boy do I love smart, snarky female characters. I'm glad that this was a movie aimed at young people which didn't have a stupid love triangle. And I'm also glad that it was aimed at teenagers but managed not to be self-consciously... trendy is not the word I want, but I'm probably just too old to know the word I want right now. And even though he's gone, I am glad of Stan Lee and the characters he was involved in making. And I am glad for every single one of his cameos too. I have, as it turns out, quite a lot of Marvel related videos, though it turns out most of them are phase 1 or phase 2 as opposed to phase 3. But still, I'm going to put the playlist up at the end of this video. As always, thank you to my patrons who are probably appearing on the screen right now. You are wonderful and lovely. These are not all of my patrons, but they have, you know, chosen the perk, which means they get their name in the credits. And if you would like to join them, there's going to be a link for that too. Regardless, have a great day, or night, or week, or whatever you like, and I'll see you next time.